It's raining in the 28th running of the London ePrix. Your Puff is on pole from Kwon Todoroki and Tonali Gabo. Then it's Remy LeBeau, Lawless Leclerc, the Red Devil, and Charles Hernandez. Revo starts 8th from championship leader Sebastian Ocampo and Ronnie Sola. Then it's his teammate UK Ball, Jonathan Sims, and the man second in the standings, Marcus Nelson in the 13 car starts 13th. Then it's Ika Gonzalez Kynes, teammate versus Theo from Falstad, Bogdasarov, teammate Elliot Deli, Francis Austin, Skadlin Rossack, and Medicis. Wow, the rain is falling quite heavily here in Britain, with Uapath, the Scotsman, holding pole position. All 5 lights go on. And we are underway for the London ePrix in season 24. The 28th running sees Kwon Todoroki try and go around the outside of Uapath, but only manages to stay side by side. Remy LeBeau moves up into 3rd position in front of old teammate, I believe, Tonali Gabai. Almost gets a run into the back of him and off. That's Ocampo. Sebastian Ocampo is out. Who's that he's collided with? That's Hernandez, who's got damage. And I think also off the track, the Red Devil. Might have been a tag team effort there from Jaguar and Faraday Future to get a major title rival out of this race, because remember, Uapath and Tonali Gabo both in the title hunt. So having their teammates take out the championship leader, big strategic advantage. I think it should be good to point out now that we do not have penalties for this race as the full course cautions end and we get back underway. And the reason we don't have penalties is because of the final chicane. We've had too many track limits infringements and the ERL has decided to turn off penalties down at that very chicane. Looking further back, and yeah, Marcus Nelson, the man second in the standings, now finds his way up into 10th position. Ronnie Sola, I'm sure he's glad to have not really been involved in that incident. His intermediate tyres very cold, and in fact a lot of these drivers, their tyres being very cold in these conditions here. But out in front, Uapath leads the way from Kwon Todoroki and Remy LeBeau. Weird thing that you might want to note about a lot of British drivers in motorsport is Tonali Gabo going side by side with Remy LeBeau to take 3rd position back from him, but he just can't get it back yet. Holds the outside it and just can't get it done. Something that you might want to note about a lot of drivers in motorsport who are labelled as British. For those who are Scottish, they feel more Scottish than they do British, but they are still labelled as British. I'm sure for Uapath, he would much rather have his home ePrix be labelled as the Glasgow or Edinburgh ePrix more than anything, instead of the capital of Great Britain. Much rather have a major city in Scotland, but he's still glad to be leading this race. And if this were to be the race where he wins his first ever Formula E ePrix, that would mean a lot to him, because it could actually see him take the lead in the standings, as we're on board with the 29 of Tonali Gabo. He knows what it's like to be at the front of the pack. Unfortunately, also knows what it means to be out of the race, especially your own home round. And we sincerely hope that doesn't happen to any of the British drivers still in this race, as we're on to lap 3. Remy LeBeau sets a 1:18.9 in 3rd position. Just pointing this out, we've got a whole cavalcade of British adjacent drivers from 6th down to 9th. So on board with Lawless Leclerc, the British monogasque driver in the 16 car there, being followed by UK Ball, who can actually say he's his fellow champion. Revo looks to the inside of his fellow race winner in the ERL from Italy. I couldn't find the word compatriot in my head. I was saying that, but he still manages to go side by side into Cop's corner. They come. Remy LeBeau and Kwon Todoroki fighting over 2nd, as Revo now takes 3rd position away from Tonali. Heading through the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Pretty sure the term that comes out of this, Chapel, is its name. If I've got that right, then tell me in the comments. If I've got that wrong, then please smash on subscribe. Don't do that, please don't. But Revo, out of stow they come. right behind Remy. Does he want to go down the inside? He does, and he hits the wall! Into the wall for the 7. Comes back onto the track, makes sure not to get hit by his own teammate, but a lot of drivers going very wide just to compensate. The Red Devil, just to mention this, he and Hernandez both have been falling down the order quite a bit. The rain is clearing somewhat here in London, and in fact we might see dry conditions here in Britain. Yes, the rain has stopped. Ica World gets past Revo, who's now fighting with Carlos Sainz, the Mercedes EQ team, and Jaguar, the teams. They have confirmed that this will be their last race running these special liveries, as well as this Apshafe Audi Sport. They have made some minor adjustments to their livery, and honestly, if we are going to see them, then they're going to have to perform quite well. Moving up into 5th position, that is Ronnie Solis, banging wheels with Lars Leclerc there. So now he has to go side by side with his own teammate. We've got an IndyCar 1-2 with a one-time race winner and the first IndyCar champion making up the top 2. But the question is now, when are these guys going to pit and strap on those dry compound tyres? I'm pretty sure Panasonic Jaguar, they want Puff in as quickly as possible, but they don't want him in on this lap. Kwon comes in, Remy comes in, Gabo's in, UK Ball stays out, but his teammates into the pits. What about Nelson and Ica? Marcus is in, Ica is in with Verstio, Kynes, Sims, Revo. These guys are going onto the dry compound tyres, and that's what we expect to see. Hernandez, he comes into the pits as well. Rossack is in, Deli is in, Matisse is in with Bob Cesaro and Austin. So the only guys who have stayed out are Puff and UK Ball. One of these drivers knows what it's like to win not just a race but a championship, 2 of them at his own home race. He's done it in season 10 and 21. He'd love to do it for a 3rd time in his career, but with how this season is panning out, it would be a lot more likely that his teammate Ronnie Solo would go for his 2nd on his full-time return to the ERL Formula E Series. As we're on board with the 46, debuted in the ERL with Venturi driving car number 10, and that would be the car number that he would take to his first ever Drivers' Championship. We've got 8 laps to go. Just remembering to say this, by the way, attack mode is officially online, as into the pits comes Puff and UK Ball. Kwon Todoroki hopes to take the lead with that, as Marcus Nelson with attack mode moves up into 8th position. Hard tyres going on for the Scottish driver. Here comes Kwon Todoroki, rounding turn 1 at Abbey, and he takes the lead. Remy LeBeau moves up into 2nd position, Lawrence Leclerc up into 3rd, and now for Puff. He's got the freshest tyres out of the top 6, but they are also the slowest tyres technically. They are the hard compound tyres. These are really hard to get up to temperature. As we watch Leclerc getting into the slipstream of Remy LeBeau in front of him. Kwon is quite a ways in front of these 3 fighting over seconds. We'd love to see this to be the fight for the lead. But here comes the 16, going alongside with Remy LeBeau. Moves right alongside him, coming out of Cop's corner, and he takes 2nd position away, coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Through Chapel Curve they go. And Leclerc doesn't have attack mode, but Remy LeBeau and Puff, they both do. Gabo doesn't have it. Sola probably won't have it. There goes Puff, the pole sitter, up into 3rd position again. Chasing down the potential first career win. It would be a first career win that a lot of people in the ERL would have seen coming. 1 to lap 7 of 13. Gabo said a 1:14.8. Expect to see lap times trickle down close to a 1:10, possibly with how we see the track evolving throughout this race. Don't expect any of the fastest lap times to come from the top 4 unless your name is Lawrence Leclerc. And yeah, Leclerc actually really benefiting from the use of those soft compound tyres. He is doing what he can to close up to Kwon in front, but whatever it is in that MS Hamlin Andretti number 66 that has allowed Kwon to take the lead, it is that exact same thing that allows him to keep that race lead. Because he's been running a very good race so far. And here comes the 9. Puff's actually been chasing down Leclerc throughout Maggots and Beckett. Out of Chapel Corner he comes. And he's not able to close up to the 16 in front. He just got a much better exit than Puff did. And even then, not even close to what Kwon was able to manage. If these guys have to stop one more time, then I think Michelin are going to have to take a good look at the compounds that they've been bringing in recent races. Because we're on to lap 8 of 13, and Leclerc softs are graining like hell. Puff is looking, darting all around the back of that Pinnacle car to try and take second position. Looks down the inside onto the Wellington straight. He's got attack mode, has to slot back into the slipstream. Kwon Todoroki is now in striking distance for these two. Remy LeBeau, he's dropped off the back of this fight for the lead. We've got a three-way battle. The Japanese Welsh driver, the English Monegasque driver, and the full-blooded Scottish number 9 fighting for victory here in round 10 of season 24. And Kwon once again bowling. He really likes the second sector, we found. There goes Puff up in second. He's not going to get attack mode though. But this is a good start for the 9 to try and take his first ERL Formula E win at home. This is the type of move that he's going to have to do. He's got to go fast and loose. Remy LeBeau, by the way, he's been passed by Tenali Gabo in that fight for 4th. So what could Gabo do to try and impact this fight for the lead? Because Puff, he's only half a second off the back of Kwon. In comes Leclerc. I think we might see Gabo come in too. He stayed out, never mind. On board we go with the 9. 70% tyre wear. He is absolutely hustling that Jaguar car to try and keep in touch with Kwon, because he knows he can't let him get away. The rear wing is open. He sees the opportunity. He tries to go alongside with Kwon Todoroki. Here they come. Through the loop they go, side by side they remain. Onto the national straight. Puff still with him. Still under half a second behind. Didn't get the exit he needed out of that turn. Into Copse Corner they come, and the opportunity for the Scotsman seemingly eradicated for now. And that's the first real punch to be answered by Kwon Todoroki here, whose hard tyres beginning to give way. I wonder if they'll be able to do the full race distance. Rear wing wide open for Puff. You can see he's trying to close in, but he's not close enough to even make an indent on that race lead so far. That's how much an exit is worth, heading down into the Vale chicane. Now through Club Corner, you can see Puff beginning to struggle with those hards. This is the part of the track where this Jaguar usually sings. The opening sector. He looks to the inside line. Through Abbey. Through Farm Corner. Into turn 3 they come. And he's still right behind him. Gabo's coming to the pits with Marcus Nelson. Here he comes. Onto the Wellington straight they come. He's got attack mode. He's trying all he can in that Jaguar. And it's still not enough to get past the Season 1 IndyCar champion. Puff is giving it all he's got. Everything, including the kitchen sink, he's throwing at Kwon Todoroki right now. And it's still just not enough to get past him. And he has to slot back in to the slipstream, heading through Maggots and Beckett's. He's going to get attack mode when they head down into Stowe Corner on the Hangar Straight. Here they come. The gap is 0.6 of a second as they are on the Hangar Straight now. And he's closing in, but it's still not close enough to even think about making the move at Stowe. Nor is it close enough to try and make the move at Vale. Or is it? He goes through. He's into the lead. And with 3 to go, Kwon Todoroki pits. Puff leads on lap 11 of 13. I did not think he could even try that move, and he still went for it. That's brilliant racecraft. As there goes Tenali Gabo. on Revo, going right down the inside at the very same chicane. That's got to be the move of the season. Out of the pits comes Kwon, and he's going to drop down to 8th position, passed by Rodney Sola. And the question now, can the hard tyres make it to the end? Remy LeBeau's done 6 laps on them. He's looking at a potential podium in his championship chance here. Fighting against the greatest in the ERL. This is what Remy's always done. His tyres are not looking as if they'll allow him to do it. But if Remy can make it to lap 12, then Puff and Cable can make it to the final lap. That's the important thing that Jaguar, that Power Motorsports are looking at. But Leclerc is closing in to the 27 and the 89. You can see the gap between Cable and Remy LeBeau, and Remy LeBeau and Lawrence Leclerc, it's basically the same. If anything, Leclerc is closing in at a rate of knots. On board we go with the 16. Those soft tyres are beginning to grain up. I don't expect him to do more than 4 laps on him. We're on to the penultimate lap. There goes Leclerc to P3. No, to P2 in front of Cable. And he's now free to chase after Puff on the penultimate lap here in London. Can he go for a victory around these famous streets that have held to date 28 ERL Formula E races? Or will Puff take his first ever win in the ERL Formula E series? 35% tyre wear, but if Remy LeBeau has made it this far, then Puff can do it too. 25% Remy's going to hit very shortly. And for Leclerc, he's at 49. I don't think he's got the tyres to do it. He needs an absolutely show-stopping final sector on this lap, and an absolutely show-stopping last lap too, to even get onto the back of that Jaguar car heading through Stowe on the next lap. Otherwise, this is going to be Puff finally, after debuting with the Jaguar team in Season 23, he could go for his first career win. We're on to the final lap here in London. Puff leads 2.5 seconds in front of Lawrence Leclerc, who's a further 5 seconds in front of Cable. Gabo's in front of Kwon. Remy LeBeau dropped down to 6th. He looks for a way to get past Kwon Todoroki, but those hard tyres have had it. If I'm in the shoes of the Frenchman, I'd probably just let it go. Try and hold on to 6th position, because the gap to Sola is 4 seconds. I don't think Ronnie's going to make the pass, but Gabo does. Up into 3rd position for the Faraday Future Dragon Racing driver. Leclerc, he's closing in. 1.1 seconds. The difference between the top two. He is gaining. He is trying to deny Puff of that storybook first career victory at his home race. And it could be a home race win that could see him take the championship lead if all of the cards have fallen into the correct position. For Leclerc, he's got attack mode heading through Stowe. He's on the back of the number 9. He's 3 tenths close to him. He's ever closer. This could be an absolutely historic moment in the ERL. Rounding the final turn, Puff is an ERL Formula E race winner. He wins the London ePrix in the fight for 3rd. Right at the line, Gabo takes 3rd from Kwon Todoroki and Cable. Sims coming home to the line to make it a double point score for his own team at their home race. Revo and Ica World, they're going to have to look back on this race again as another one of those what could have been moments, a 2nd consecutive non-score for the 7 crew. And for the 8 crew as well. Those 2 teams who came into the season as favourites. And a full car puncture for Francis Austin as well. He's had a troublesome day here in London. And in fact, a troublesome season as a whole. Season 25 for the Toyota Gazoo Racing team. That's really where they've got to step it up. Because their last season as McLaren wasn't great. And their first season back as Toyota has not been great either. But for Europuff, how about that? It's his first race win, but had there been another lap, I'm sure he would have been caught by the 16. Just taking a look at where all of our major players in the championship finished. First for Europuff, 8th for Marcus Nelson, 7th for Rodney Sola, 3rd for Tenali Gabo, and he did not finish for Sebastian Ocampo, 9th for Jonathan Sims, and 6th for Remy LeBeau. This championship in Season 24 really beginning to heat up, a slow burner in the ERL Formula E Series. And this is your podium. Jubilation across Scotland as Europuff takes victory in the ERL Formula E Series for the first time in his career in front of Lala Leclerc and Tenali Gabo. That's some great company to have on the podium with him. Then it's Kwon Todoroki, U-Cable, Remy LeBeau, Ronnie Sola, Marcus Nelson, Jonathan Sims, and Verse Theo, the top 10. Then it's Ica World, Revo, Solos Kynes, the Red Devil, Charles Hernandez, Scadlin Rossack, Falstad, Delhi, Medicis, and Bogdasarov, with Austin getting that full car puncture on the final lap, and Sebastian Ocampo being taken out on the first lap. In the driver standings, Europuff now leads 3 points in front of Lala Leclerc on 100 points. Then it's Ocampo on 91, Gabo on 88, he's tied with Marcus Nelson. Then it's U-Cable, Ronnie Sola, the Red Devil, Kwon Todoroki, Ica World. Those two tied on points. Then it's Remy LeBeau, Sims, the top 12. They are separated by about 45 points. Outside of that, you've got Revo, who is certainly in no man's land on 35 points. He's in front of Verse Theo, Solos Kynes, Charles Hernandez, Francis Austin, Elliot Delhi, and Bogdasarov, with Falstad, Medicis, and Rossack yet to score. In the constructors standings heading into the 11th round of the Formula E Series in Vienna, Panasonic Jaguar Racing leads the way from Pinnacle Motorsport and MS Amlin Andretti. Then it's Power Motorsport, DS Virgin Racing, Red Bull Sims Porsche, Faraday Future Dragon Racing, Mercedes EQ, Team Edams Renault are tied with Toyota Gazoo Racing, and Akshay Audi Sport are yet to score any points. We will see you guys next time then when the ERL returns.